Hi all. Here we will learn serialization and deserialization in C#.NET with practical examples. So now, what is serialization in C#? So serialization in C# is the process of bringing an object into a form that can be written on stream. So what is stream here? Stream is used to ensure the smooth read and write operations to the file. And serialization is the process of converting the object into a form so that we can store in the form of files or data in the database or memory. And serialization main purpose is to save the state of the object. So what are the state of the object? We will save in the same state, and so that we can be recreated whenever it's required. Right. So next, so, what are the uses of serialization? So, serialization allows us to save the state of an object, and we can recreate whenever we want. And using web services, we can pass object to remote applications, and also sending an object from one domain to another domain, and also passing an object through a firewall as a JSON or XML formats, and we can maintain security or user specific information across the applications. So for all these are the uses of serialization. So if you see this diagram, so objects we are converting into bytes, and after that we can save in the different places. Like if you want, we can save in database, or we can save in the memory locations, and also in the file format. So all these examples we will see. Now coming to deserialization. Now what is deserialization here? So deserialization is in C# is the reverse process of serialization, and it restores the state of the object by setting properties, fields, and etc. And it is the process of getting back the serialized object, and it can be loaded into memory. So there are three different types of serializations we can perform in C#. That is binary serialization, XML serialization, and JSON serialization. So let's get into these topics one by one. So first thing, we will see binary serialization with practical example and theoretical part. So now first one is a binary serialization. So here the steps involved in binary serialization of the object. So create a stream object, and step 2 is create a binary formatter object. Call the binary formatter dot serialize method. So by this way we can serialize the object. Binary serialization we can do. And if you want to deserialize the object, so these are the steps. Create a stream object to read serialized output, and create a binary formatter object. Call the binary formatter dot deserialize method to deserialize the object, and cast it to the correct type. So let's see one practical example for this binary serialization. So after that, we will go to next slide, like XML serialization, right? So so this is my example practical session. Here, if you see, I am writing one private method, one static method. So public static void serialization data, one method, and the next method is public void serialization, deserialization the data. So here I am taking two different methods. So in the main method, I am calling these two methods. One is serialize method and a deserialize method. So we will see first. So what is serialization method? So how you want to do the serialization in the text format. So here, if you see string str equal to welcome to C#. So this is my string value, and I'm creating a file to save the data. So I'm creating one text file. I given the URL, and here I'm using the file operation system.io is there, right? In that we have a file stream. So file stream object I'm creating, new file stream. So URL of your text where you want to save this one, and you can give the access file mode to create. So create access we are giving. Next, second step is, so we have to add the namespace. So system dot runtime dot serialization dot formatter dot binary. So under this namespace, we can find this binary serialization classes all this information. So binary formatter, binary object equal to new binary formatter, and we can call the serialize method binary object dot serialize of. So what is the file stream here? This is the file stream. Here you are saving the your text, and just you are serializing in this method. After that file we are closing. So after that, deserialization method. So what is deserialization method? So here also same thing. So file stream class we are using, creating instance and passing the values here, and here we are opening. So you are opening the file and read the content, and for the deserialization. The same way you are creating binary formatter class object, and after that you are calling the deserialize object, and type conversion also we are doing string. So correct type conversion we are doing string format. After that you are deserializing the values. Let's see the results. So let's run the program, and we'll see the results how it is coming. So see here, after deserialization, so this is the content. Then what about serialization text file? That one I will open and I will show you. So this is my file, text file. It's created in the desktop, and so if you see here, serialize the data, whatever the data is serialized, and deserialization result also we saw. So just it will show in the uh, command line, welcome to C sharp, without these symbols, all these things, right? So this is what binary serialization example, and we will see one more example for binary serialization now. So in this example, I will explain binary serialization for class object. So we are creating one class, customer details class, and I'm taking two properties. One is public int customer ID with get set properties, and public string customer name with get set properties. Two properties I am taking, and I am going to serialize this complete class object. So that's why I'm giving attribute called serialize. And for this, I have added two namespaces. One is using system.runtime.serialization and system.runtime.serialization formatters.binary, and also system.io for stream, for the streaming operations we are doing system.io. So in this we are using some classes, right? So then I'm declaring a class with attribute, declarate with attribute like serializable attribute, and my class name is customer details. In that I'm taking two properties. And now if you see the main class, so here customer details obj equal to new customer details, and obj dot customer id equal to 1, and customer name is John. I am passing these two. After that I am creating iFormatter class object, iFormatter new binary formatter object I am creating. After that, a stream class stream object I am creating to create the file. So here also same thing, you are giving the file path, and file mode equal to create, and file access equal to write. So write access. you are writing these values in that. After next step is formatter dot serialize. So serialize method I am calling. So after calling serialize method, stream dot close, and deserialization also I'm doing here only in the single step. So stream the same object and new file stream of your file path, and here you have to pass these methods like enum values. So file mode dot open and file access is read access we are passing. After that you are creating object and type conversion we are doing, and customer details of formatter dot deserialize method I am calling. And after deserializing uh, I want to know what is my values of a customer ID and customer name. So for that individually I'm calling console dot write line of after deserialize object obj new dot customer ID and obj new dot customer name to see the output, and console dot read line I'm calling. Now let's run this program and check the result. So this is my result. After deserialization object equal to 1, and after deserialization object employee name equal to John. So then let's see the file how it is created. So this is the after serialization your file is created like this. Here some symbols deserialization, serialization and deserialization version equal to 1.00, culture neutral, and public key token null, and again customer details, customer ID it is not showing anything, backing field and customer name equal to backing field John. Right. So friends, like this, we it will created the file serialization. Deserialization result already we saw. So this is the way we can do the binary serialization in C sharp. Now we will see second type is XML serialization. For that we have to add system.xml.serialization namespace. So these are the steps. First create the stream and create an XML serializer object and call XML serializer.serialize method to serialize the object. And if you want to deserialize XML, so create a stream and create an XML serializer object and call the XML serializer dot deserialize method to deserialize the object. So these are the steps. So let's move to practical session for this also. So here is the source code for the XML serialization example. So here also we are using the system and using system.io and IO operation input file operations, and using system.xml.serialization. This is the namespace we have to add. So after that what I'm doing, so here you can create one class with different properties like employee ID, employee name, address and salary. So four different properties I'm creating. So what exactly this XML element indicates EMP address. I want to hide my original um, property name. So in that case you can show this way XML element of EMP address. So it will expose with this particular name. You are hiding the original property name, and ignore what ignore will do. It will not create any as a XML element. Salary property it will not show in my XML. So for that purpose we will use XML ignore, and I am creating one constructor here public employee, employee ID equal to 0, employee name NA and address equal to NA. In the constructor level I am using these things and initializing, and this is my first method. So here public static void serialized data method, and you are passing employee class object, And here first step is we have to create the file stream. So here is my file path where you want to create the file, and file mode equal to create. So after creating a file stream, next this XML serializer class, this is the class, and just create the object for that, and type of employee we are passing in this, and call serialize method. So XML obj dot serialize, and just pass the file stream and employee. So after that, just to close the file. And this is the deserialization method. So in the deserialization method also same thing, file, and after that file stream, we are file stream object we are creating. So in that we are passing the file mode equal to open. After that XML serializer object I'm creating. After that employee object, employee class object dot serialize. So employee of access. So here if you see employee emp employee of type conversion you are doing access, and deserialize method I am calling for the file, and after that you can close this file. Next thing is you can display the deserialized data, that is employee ID and employee name and employee address. So in the main method, we have to create the object for the class and pass the actual values. Employee ID equal to 101, employee name equal to Venkat, and address equal to BLR I am assigning, and call these two methods, serialize method and deserialize method. So let's run the program and see the result. So start the program. So here you can see the deserialization. After deserialization, so these are the result. And also we will see the XML file, how it is created in the system. So if you see the XML file, how it is created here. So this is the version 1.0 employee, and some basic information to XML, and employee ID equal to 101, employee name equal to Venkat, and address equal to BLR. So friends, this is the way we can do XML serialization in C sharp. So let's go to third one, JSON serialization. So this is the third type of serialization. So here if you see, the step one is add the namespaces like newtonsoft.json or Nancy.Json namespaces. Under these namespaces, you can find the JSON serialization related classes, all this information. And step two, serializing an object into JSON string. After that, we will see deserializing the JSON file. So let's see the practical session now. So now we can see the JSON serialization, how to do here. First thing, very important thing is Nancy.Json namespace I added. So here if you see the references part, go to references, and here if you see Nancy.serialization.json net, and newtonsoft.json also added. So but if we add this DLL, that is fine from by using the NuGet package manager I added. How to add by using NuGet package reference, just right click on that, manage NuGet packages. So here you can check the installed, whatever installed softwares we can see. Nancy.serialization.json net. So this is the DLL is required to perform the JSON serialization. Right. Now after that I created one employee class. So in that I'm taking two different properties like employee name and a phone number. So employee phone with get set properties. Then let's move to main method. So in the main method you are creating class object and adding the actual values. Right here, by using object initialization syntax. I'm passing the values like Venkat, employee name equal to Venkat, and phone number something, right? So this is my serialization method, and here is my deserialization method. So if you see here, so this part is a deserialization, these two lines, and these three lines are serialization. So what I'm doing, JavaScript serializer is the class. Under this, we can get information. JavaScript serializer, and create the object. After that, take one string and add this jserializer dot serialize method directly, and you can pass the your class object. So you can pass the class object into this, and console.writeLine of JSON string. So after converting JSON string, it will show the result we can observe. And deserialization also we can call. So JavaScript serializer is the class, and creating one more object for this. After that, your employee class object. So JS serialization 2 dot deserialize method you are calling and passing the employee details, and finally you can print the values of this. The same string I'm passing here to deserialize the values. So you have to call the what is the serialized object. So that serialization string only we have to call in the deserialization part. So after deserialization, we are just converting the values emp obj dot employee name and emp obj dot employee phone, and just we are printing the values like console dot write line name is name, and phone is phone. Now let's see the result. Just I will run this program and see here. If you observe, so first line indicates the serialization part. So braces colon and employee name colon Venkat, employee phone colon phone number, and after deserialization these are the values. So friends, we saw how to do the serialization and deserialization JSON. So these are the three steps we have to follow, and these DLLs we have to add for that. Right. So if you like this information, please subscribe CCB Knowledge Hub YouTube channel. So thank you so much.